Hey, Tony Gasson here. Y'all gotta forgive me. I'm still a little under the weather, but so y'all gotta forgive me. But wanting to pop in and do this video because somebody just asked me in the comments, Tony, what is? Can you talk to us about these two men that just ended up in these cases with the young lady who was on a road trip? And what y'all got to realize too is a lot of times as humans we don't think about other humans. So we have to be careful with this kind of stuff. And sometimes, like the day it happened, people like, Tony, can you comment on this? And it's like, listen, what if her mom see this video? Like, what if her mom is one of my subscribers? What if it's like you got to think about people grieving process? So y'all understand that I can't just jump on and be talking about stuff right in the midst of it because searches still be going on and the person could be subscribed to me. You got to realize when you see that 350,000 subscribers, count one by one. Count one by one to 350,000. That's a whole lot of people. That's a whole lot of people. So somebody in this young lady family could be following me. Actually, when I spoke on the one young lady from the Orlando area, one of the people commented, my daughter knows her. And so that's how small the world is. So y'all have to understand that we got to be sensitive when we talking about stuff. But this is in the realm of teaching so that you could be aware of these type of men. But here's the thing that's going to trip you out, and this is what you got to understand. See, I could look at people and read people and see their whole life. There is nothing abnormal about either one of those men. Those men are your brother. Yes. Those men are your father. Those men are me. Those men are my father. What they did, every single man in the world is capable of it. Every single man. Think about this now. Think about this. It's not about being crazy and deranged. It's about what emotions are being fed. Listen to what I'm telling you. If you go on YouTube and all you do is watch YouTubers who are talking about their depression, it's going to make you feel depressed. You're going to think about your bad days and your sadness, and you're going to become ever increasingly depressed because that's what you're feeding. You're feeding these stories of this YouTuber who is talking about they're so depressed, they're so depressed, they're so depressed, and they're on camera and they're crying. And you start to feel that way. I saw it happen with my niece. She was watching these two guys who they dress like women and they wear hair and makeup like women, and they just kept talking about their depression. They so depressed. Next thing you know, my niece, who has a perfectly fine life, everything is fine with her today. She 100% fine today. She started talking about she's depressed. It's because that's what she was feeding. So yes, this depression could happen. And it could be something, it could be a mental health issue, a trigger in the brain, but the brain is so powerful that whatever emotions and thoughts are being fed, they will grow, they will get stronger. And so we have to understand that about the mind. So here's the thing. It's some signs that you have to look for in men. And these signs could also be in women. It could go both ways, but we're talking about men, and I'm talking about men because I'm a man and I understand men, not women, because I'm not a woman. But being a man, when you are something, you got a pretty general, you got a good grasp of what it's like to be that. When you black, you pretty much understand the existence of a black person. It's some black people who are privileged and because they come from a different lineage, and there's some black people who are not privileged, and it's typically going to be one or two types. You understand that. And yes, you got a bunch of little subcategories, but in the grand scheme of things, it's typically somebody who is mentally free as a black person and somebody who is mentally enslaved. And then you got subcategories inside of that. And you understand whatever experience you are. So I understand what it is to be a man inside and out. And I could look a man in the eyes and I could tell what type of man he is. Guess what? These men, I saw their pictures and some of them saw little videos of them. One of them heard them talking to the police. This is everyday men. This is everyday men. This is not Ted Bundy. This ain't Ted Bundy or whatever the man name was. This is everyday men. Now, when you get to that place to where you doing what those Ted Bundy types did, that's when you spiritually possessed. That's when you demon possessed. And if you don't believe in spirits, I feel bad for you. But so that's another level. But for what they did, that's one life that was taken. That's one life that was taken. Do you know it's men that are sitting beside you in Starbucks that have taken more lives than that? Just from being, just from living the street life for 1 year. Living the street life 2-3 years, 5 years. Just from joining the gang when he was in middle school, he has taken more lives than that. And because of the way he did it and where he did it at, he was never caught. But this guy is serving your coffee at Starbucks. This guy is in the pulpit preaching today. This guy is on YouTube, leading the YouTube channel today. There are men who have done more than these men have done right beside you. But guess what? There are signs. There are signs, and you cannot play with this. And this is the thing. You cannot play with the male species. The male species is wired to conquer and to dominate. Look at how countries come into power. And who led that? A male. Look at who pushes the button for this country to go and take over that country. A male. Look at who are the majority in the woods hunting for sport. Males. Look at who gets into a ring or a cage and punches another human being in the face and cannot let that lifestyle go. Males. Yes, some women do that too. But typically when you see those women, it was their father that got them into it. Or their brother or their uncle that got them into it for their own enjoyment. Didn't have a son, so let me get my daughter in here to do MMA and UFC, to do boxing, because I didn't have a son. Think about this. The male species is a different kind of species. Every man knows it. And see, the men who are most capable of this, they will never admit to this. Oh, you making men sound like savages, like animals, like this and that. We could be worse than an animal. A lion could have more decency for his kind than a man does. Lions don't just go out and just slay other lions. They go hunt for gazelles or zebras or whatever it is they eat. But look what we doing to each other in the streets. Look what we doing to each other, one country versus another. And it's men that's leading these brigades. So think about this. So the first thing is you have to have a understanding of what you're dealing with. And you gotta know that when you go into a relationship, when you are dating, and the reason why I go so hard on this is because this is life or death. This is what you have to understand. A lot of people just prancing into relationships, and women are very ignorant to the ways of men. And I use ignorant in not a derogatory term, but in the literal sense of the word. Women are very ignorant to the ways of men. And women take men for granted and don't understand the depths of the species that you are dealing with, the complexity of the species that you're dealing with, the emotional and spiritual and mental warfare of the species that you're dealing with, the human that you're dealing with. And this is what you have to understand. So the first sign, and one of the biggest signs, and these kind of all the signs I'm going to share with you, they all intertwine, they all work together, is insecurity. Now, insecurity comes from a man not being affirmed. He was not told, you're handsome, you're smart, you're strong, you're amazing, you can be anything, you can do anything, you are called for greatness, you are destined for greatness. Most men do not hear that. So in turn, the world makes this man feel insecure. I am intentionally raising my sons with my wife. We are intentionally making them extremely confident, not arrogant. There's a difference. Confident. Arrogance is thinking you're better than somebody, looking down on somebody, and you're too cool to be the friend of the quiet, shy person who other people are picking on. That's arrogance. Confidence is knowing who you are and knowing that you are not judged because you sit down and have lunch with this person that no one else will have lunch with. You're confident in who you are, that you can go sit at that table. And that's what my sons do. The teachers come tell us about it. And that's how we raising them. Because insecurity is very dangerous. The most dangerous being on earth is an insecure man. Do you see these men with these podcasts and these YouTube channels that are leading this hate against women? It's because they are insecure. So because they are insecure, they want an advantage in the relationship. They want an edge in the relationship. They don't want a level playing field. They want an edge in the relationship. They want to be worshiped. They want to be praised. They want to be excused. They want to be allowed to do whatever they feel like is being a man. If that is cheating, if that is cursing at a woman, calling her out of her name, talking to her like crap. And look at these men on these podcasts and these YouTube channels. They call women out of their name. They curse at women. If a man will curse at a woman or call her out of her name, call her fat, call her ugly, call her an adjustable 6, rate her on a scale of 1 to 10, and call her out of her name, call her, wish death upon her, say that she's going to die miserable, single, ugly, or whatever. If a man will do that publicly, with the entire world watching. See that? You see what I'm trying to tell you? What do you think that man, that very same man, is capable of privately? Women don't even think about that. Women don't even think about it. There are hundreds of thousands of women who are buying into the message of toxic, insecure men, and they are not even questioning the behavior of these men on these platforms, on these social media platforms. These hundreds of thousands, if not millions of women can't even tell the difference between a grown man and a grown boy, between a secure, masculine, healthy man and a immature, toxic man masquerading as a high value man. Because these men came up with the term high value man, and then they define it through toxic behavior, but disguise it as being real and trying to help. but it is destroying society. And it's ripping us apart at the seams of the fabric of the humankind. And this is the thing. It is insecurity. Insecurity. I need to have a little Boosie singing on the song for me. Insecurity. Insecurity. That's what it is. And see, these men ever increasingly becoming more and more insecure because they equate their net worth with their self-worth. So it is extremely hard to build a net worth. Today, you pretty much can only do it with a healthy, wealthy mindset. You can make millions of dollars and still be worth $1,000. Even making millions if you have a broke mindset. And that is our problem today. We are, as men, we are all broke. Because guess what? Even when you have money, like Jeff Bezos, that is not cash in the bank. That is stocks. One thing happens in the world, and this man can go from being worth $100 billion to being worth $1,000 with one catastrophic event, because that's not cash, that's stocks. That's not physical money that he's worth. And guess what? At that level of money, guess what he's doing? He's spending billions a year on rocket ships for humans to go to space. So the more you have, the more you spend. So men on every level still broke. And because we have been taught and trained to equate our net worth with our self-worth, we have produced a society of insecure men. That's how you see men make hundreds of millions of dollars and still go bankrupt. Broken on the inside. Broken minded. So the number one thing you have to recognize is insecurity. If a man is questioning you about looking at another man, liking another man, are you talking to another man, and all of these things, do you like me? Do you love me? I don't trust you. I don't think you love me. I don't think you're faithful to me. He is insecure, and you have to run. Now, here's the thing. If you don't want to run, and you feel like, okay, there's something that's in him, but I feel like this could be addressed, this is what you have to do. You got to call it out as soon as it happens. And when I say that, I don't mean literally like if you at dinner and he expresses insecurity, you check it right then. You wait till you get back home and you talk about it over the phone. Because this insecurity going to show typically inside of 12 weeks. And normally between the 4th week and the 8th week is when this insecurity is going to show. And the way you address this is you say to him, you say, hey, listen, one thing that I 100% absolutely cannot tolerate in a relationship is insecurity. Because I've worked on my insecurity and I know who I am and I love myself. And if I feel like you want another woman or you with another woman or you cheating with another woman, I'm leaving you. I'm not harassing you, chasing you, questioning you. I'm leaving you, and I expect you to do the same. So if you cannot trust me, we don't have a relationship. Directly, just like that. That's how you talk to him. That is how you talk to him, and that's what you let him know. You're not yelling. You're not cursing. You're not doing it in public, in front of his friends, in front of his family. You're not showing out. This is in private. This real G, one-on-one. I'm letting you know immediately this is what an IS is. Point blank period. If he gets an attitude and he jump bad and he want to go off and he want to get loud or he want to curse you out or he want to do this and do that. If he does anything other than, you know what? You're right. My ex cheated on me and I carried that into this situation, to this relationship. And I apologize about that. And you know what? You are a good woman, and I can tell you a good woman. And so that right there is not going to happen again. Forgive me for being weak. He may not articulate it to that extent or in those exact words, but if he does anything other than that, pack your stuff and leave. In the conversation, in the relationship, in the courtship, in the everything, gone. Because listen, insecurity kills. It will wipe you out. Do you hear me? It will wipe you out. The other sign you have to look for, anger issues. There's a thing with men that what we do is around the fourth week, if we've been talking at least an hour a day, we really know you, really feel comfortable with you. If you say or do something or dress a certain way, say something, do something, disagreement, don't want to listen to him, meaning he's saying this is what this is a conspiracy with this vaccine and this and that, and you're like, I don't agree with that. That is not, listen, I know science. I science major. I understand what a vaccine is. I understand the purpose of it. I know what is going on. This is not a government conspiracy. And he gets extremely angry. See? Hear what I'm talking about? Y'all stupid women don't never like to listen to a man. Any kind of anger issues. He may slam a door. He may punch a wall. He may twitch. Get a little twitch. His eyes may turn bloodshot red. He may start huffing and puffing. Any type of anger issues, that is a red, glaring flag with sirens on it. You got to run. You got to run. That's different than insecurity. Because a man can be insecure and ask you an insecure question. But anger issues, what that means is he is a ticking time. Do you hear me? So one of those days, that huffing and puffing gonna blow the house down. So you got to recognize that early. And you got... And see, with this stuff right here, you can let a man know one time. Because the reason why I say this is all of this is in all of us. It's one of these four signs is in 99% of men. And that's why I say, if he has enough good, and this is his one weakness, and it shows up inside of 12 weeks, you have to be wise enough to use the discernment. You know what? I kind of wasted my breath because the questions I get from women let me know that 99% of women do not understand men in the least. So I you know what? I'm gonna tell you this. For the sake of safety, go on about your business. Go on about your business. Because he need to already be done work this out and healed on his own. Go on about your business. Go on about your business. Because while I'm telling you this, that next blow up, that'll take your life. You'll be done with. That next blow up, you'll be done. Go on about your business. Go on about your business. Men, every man that watch this, do the healing. Do the healing. Because your next woman or your woman gonna see this and you gonna get left. It's time for men to start healing. And I put some videos on Instagram called Men Healing. And I probably put it on my YouTube too. Do you some healing. Do your healing. Do your therapy. Do your coaching. Do your cool down technique. Work on yourself. Grow. Love yourself as a man. Change your life. Change your mindset. Stop listening to these punks online. Stop listening to these soft men that's perpetuating this cycle and giving you this toxic masculinity and giving you this ego to make you think you God's gift to women, to make you think you the greatest thing since sliced bread, make you think you a king and you a prize, and you need this woman to grovel and kiss your feet. Don't ever listen to a man that inflate your head and make you think you bigger than life itself, to make you think you special. You need to be humble. You need to be humble, and you need to know this woman is just as special in the sight of the Creator as you are. And she deserves the utmost absolute respect. That's real manhood. Anything less than that, you're not a man. And you got to understand that. Stop feeling sorry for yourself. Stop competing against women. Stop waging war against women. And become a real man. God bless you. Now listen to me. This here anger issue, this it's a little more dangerous, and so you got to be careful. Because listen to me. When you look at what happened in Parkland, Florida, at the school, who did it? Who did it? What does he look like? Google him. When you look at what happened in South Carolina, I think it was, at the church, I think it was 9 members. Who did it? What does he look like? Google him. When you look at what happened in D.C., a DMV area, with I think it was the father and the son who was out the trunk. Random people, gas stations, wherever. Google them. See what they look like. When you look at what happened to the young lady that went on the trip with her boyfriend, Google him. See what he looked like. When you look at the young lady in Central Florida who was in the apartment and the maintenance man got in the apartment, Google him. See what he looked like. Look at Columbine. See what he looked like. You see what I'm telling you? Out of everything that I just named, which one of them was a woman? This is what I'm trying to tell men. This is what I'm trying to tell men. When you look at 9/11, what they look like, which one of them was a woman? This is what I'm trying to tell men. Until we recognize and realize the devil in us, the deviation in us, the destructiveness in us, we cannot change. Until we stop feeling sorry for ourselves as men and we realize how we are wired, then we cannot be renewed. We cannot have a new mindset until you realize what you are capable of as a man. As a man, I am fully aware that I can snap your neck in a blink of an eye. I am fully aware of that. And that's how I control that. Because I am aware. If I am ignorant to the fact, if I refuse to believe that I am capable of taking another human being's life, then that is exactly what I would do. If I'm walking around feeling sorry for myself, woe is me, the world hates me, everybody's against me, and if I feed and I fuel and I give into that, and it's mental. That's why they call it mental health. It's mental. It's what we telling ourselves. It's what we listening to. It's what we're watching. It's what we searching online. When you look at these individuals, a lot of them, their Google searches, what they watched on Netflix, what they watched on demand, what they watch on TV will give you a trail of what led them right to the very moment that they did what they did. And this is the work that men are not doing. We're not looking ourselves in the mirror. And the thing about it is a woman was created. It's a quote that says women were created beautiful and foolish. That's not my quote. You could Google it and see who wrote it. Beautiful so that man might love her, and foolish so that she might love man. And as a man, what changed my life is when I came into knowledge of self. When I realized my flaws, my weaknesses, and also what I'm capable of, good and bad. That's what changed my life. Until you come into the knowledge of who you truly are and what your real struggles are and where you are operating from as a man, you will remain broken and you will remain destructive to yourself, to your family, and to the world. And this the work that got to be done. Now listen to me. Now, them anger issues, deal with it on your own. Deal with it in therapy, counseling, coaching, books, walks in the park, everything you need to put together. Deal with it. And don't take it into a relationship. Now, number 3, this right here gonna come out in conversation. This gonna come out in conversation. Background. His background. Listen to me. Hey, go on mymentor.life, hire you a coach. Go on mymentor.life, hire you a coach. Stop making excuses for yourself. Go on, hire you a coach. Background. We got therapists on there too. Counselors on there too. In conversation, the third sign you got to pay attention to is background. If this man is from a war zone, and I'm not talking about like, I'm not just talking about literally like over there, in other parts of the world where our troops go. I'm talking about his city. If they call his city Chirac, he gonna have some issues that he got to work through. If they call his city Murder City, Trigger City, Gunshine State, anything that has to do with violence, he has some stuff that he has to work through. You got to pay attention to his background, because that has affected him. In this conversation, when you listen to his resume, any trauma that you hear about, you have to make sure that he has addressed that trauma. Mommy wounds, daddy wounds, auntie wounds, uncle wounds, cousin wounds, brother wounds, sister wounds, nephew wounds, niece wounds, grandma wounds, granddaddy wounds, ex-girlfriend wounds, ex-fiance wounds, ex-wife wounds, best friend wounds, ex-best friend wounds. I'm saying wounds, WOUNDS. Anywhere that he has been hurt, has he addressed the pain? His homeboy life was taken. Has he addressed the pain? He lost anybody in his life. Has he addressed the pain? He witnessed violence in his life in any form. Has he addressed the trauma? If he has not, then you could become a victim of his trauma. And that's what you have to understand. You have to recognize that, and you cannot think this is cute. See, a lot of women see a man with trauma and they think it's cute because they see him as vulnerable. Because when he talk about it, he cries. And you twisting up his locks while he crying. You kissing on his scars. And you think it's cute that he got soldier wounds. If he has not sat down with a clinician or with a sacred text like the Holy Bible and been renewed, you got to beware. Because guess what? There is going to be a release for that trauma. And if he has not released it in a healthy way through communication and conversation with a clinician that can give him a treatment plan, positive reinforcement, positive direction, action steps that he can take to address this trauma that he has seen, felt, experienced, then it will be released in a toxic way and you'll be in the way. It'll be released on you. You will become a test dummy, a punching bag, the scapegoat. The brunt of his pain will be placed on you. The burden of his pain, his trauma will be placed on you. So you have to pay attention to that. You have to pay attention to that. Do not ignore this. Do not ignore this. I'm telling you, this is how women turning up dead. Because they did not know that these signs that I'm sharing with you, and it's more, but I'm talking off the top of my head. I could teach a whole weekend seminar on this. I ain't got all that kind of time right now. So listen to me. So you got to use wisdom, knowledge, and discretion. Do not leave what I'm telling you just at what I'm saying. You have to expound upon this in your mind using wisdom, knowledge, understanding, discretion. You got to say, okay, Tony touched on these, but what about this? Let me add in this. Let me add in that. Let me add in this. You see what I mean? Expound upon this in your mind. Sit and think through this thoroughly. I'm just kind of glossing over it for the sake of time and for the sake of the medium that I have to use through this here online. So now listen to me. Pay attention to his background. This man from the old block, this man from Tennessee, that's supposed to be called Tennessee. If he called it Tennessee, did he call this thing Trigger City? He called this thing Gunshine State instead of the Sunshine State. He got a nickname of violence for his city or for his state. He got issues. Point blank, period. And those issues need to be addressed. This is not a laughing matter. This is not a laughing matter. Those issues need to be addressed. Listen to me. And I say that because we make it a laughing matter because we put it in memes, we do videos about it, we do TikToks about it. You know, I seen a lady pumping the gas because it's 40% cheaper in the hood and you hear the gunshots. So we turn this into, but them gunshots, somebody lost their life. Somebody's mama was put in a black dress. But we turn it into a game. We turn it into something. It's the way our brain works to self-soothe. Because if we really process what's going on in the world, all of us will be depressed. Everybody will be depressed. If you really sat and internalized what happened to these two young ladies that inspired this video, you'll be depressed. You'll be so scared to go out the house. You will be changing your locks right now today if you live in an apartment and you got a maintenance man at that apartment. Because he got a master key to your apartment and he look a little off. If you really internalize what happened to that young lady in Central Florida, you will be changing your locks. You will be trying to break your lease to go get you a rental house. But if you renting a house from a man, you still gonna be scared because he got a key to that house. You see what I'm saying? Listen to me. As men, the way we protect women is by becoming real men and by calling out the devil in other men. Men get mad at me for calling out these men on these podcasts with this toxicity. No, I got to call them out. And better be glad that's all I'm doing. Because guess what? For the message that these men are pushing online, my sister's life could be taken. My sister could be cursed out. And if she cursed back, she'll be beaten. Because her boyfriend or husband is listening to these men online cursing women out and making women feel like less than. I could lose a loved one because of these men. And don't let me trace it back to that. Because then what I got to deal with? Then I got to deal with my own issues then. Then I got to talk myself off the ledge. Then I got to, oh, Tony, are you healed? Or you finna get toxic? You see what I'm saying? Because I understand how I'm wired as a man. I understand how this man is wired. Listen, when I came into the knowledge of how we wired as men, I stopped trying to fake tough. No, I'm tough for real. But you know what tough mean? Tough means shutting your mouth. Somebody cut me off in traffic. It's not worth me pulling up beside him and shooting him a bird, flicking him off because he cut me off in traffic. You know what I started doing when I became a real man? Because when I was in college, if somebody cut me off in traffic, and it's a true story, I pull a gun on them. I pull a gun on them and point it out the window at them and let them know I'll kill you. But you know what? That gun was a BB gun. I had a BB gun. And I told my daddy that one time. I don't know how this came out. I was talking to him about CTE and the way the concussions was affecting me. So I thought. And because I was a college football player, he said, son, you gonna pull that BB gun out one day, and somebody gonna pull a real gun out, and you gonna be shooting BBs, and they're gonna be shooting bullets. He said, I advise you to stop that. But see, that's what we will do as men. We'll fake tough. We'll talk tough online. We'll act tough, and don't realize that'll get your head blowed off. So when you tough for real, you trying to avoid confrontation because you know what you capable of. You know if your back really against the wall, you'll blow somebody's head off. You know that. So now you don't want confrontation. You're not trying to talk tough. If somebody talk tough to me online, I'm not saying nothing to him. You know I ain't saying nothing to him? Because I know I'll take his life in real life. So I'm not finna stoke nothing. Because I done come into the knowledge of how the devil work and what the toxic side of a human is. The toxic side of a man is. And see, as men, we ignoring this. We ignoring what we capable of. And a lot of times we won't go all the way, but we'll make people pay a price. So a man could be scared of another man, and that will have him beating his woman because he doesn't fear her. But he won't lift a hand toward a man. He will sidestep a man and put hands on his woman because he's soft, because he's scared, because he's insecure, because of what he has experienced in the world. Now listen, I got to close on up because I don't like to go over an hour. This already too long. I'm going to tell you how you get this here message to your boyfriend, to your husband, is when he slip up and he disrespect you and you leave and you go get you a hotel for 3 nights and he beg you back. You tell him, we got to watch this right here. This how you, because it really is probably going to be one man who will watch this whole video to the end. It probably be one man. That's how men are. We that complacent. We that arrogant. We that entitled in the world today. If you a man and you get to this point in the video, put in the comments, hey Tony, I got there. Disrupt the narrative. Show that we got more good men. I post a video like this for men and there won't be a single man in the comments. You know why? Because we're weak. We afraid to co-sign a message that challenges us as men because we don't want to lose our man card from toxic men. As men, we're so weak, we are afraid to show the world that we are getting knowledge and growing as a man. Your average, everyday, typical man is afraid, and that's why you don't see men in the comments of my videos. And it's men who will watch the whole video now and will never leave a comment because, and the ones who do leave a comment, a lot of times they leave it because they're trying to get their woman back and they know their woman watches the videos. And so in a way, some men leave a comment to gaslight or whatever light y'all call it to this woman. And some men leave a comment and don't even watch the whole video comment, man, that's real stuff in the first 2 minutes and click off because they know their girlfriend or their wife gonna see it. That's another game that we will play. But what we need is honest men who doing the work and who seeking real growth. That's what we need. So listen to me. Now back to the lady. When you looking at this here background, pay attention to it. And with the background, you got to make sure that he done the work. That he has done the work or he's doing the work. He's in coaching, counseling, therapy, whatever it is. Bible study, whatever it is he's doing the work to rewire his brain. He has identified that he grew up in toxicity. He experienced a lot of trauma. He now knows the difference between good behavior, bad behavior, traumatic behavior, and he understands how it showed up in his life, how it caused him to act out, where he was operating from when he was operating from that trauma or that pain. And now he has adjusted his life. He's changed his thinking. He has changed his response to situations and feelings because of the knowledge that he has gained. He is healed or healing, but healed enough to be in a relationship. Now, the fourth sign that you want to look out for, is control. Control. When you have a man that is telling you what you can and cannot do, where you can and cannot go, what you can and cannot wear, who you can and cannot be friends with, that is a danger zone. That is a red flag, and that can cost you a lot, if not everything. The reason being is we were not created to control human beings. That's why prison guards get stabbed up, because they are put in a place to control these inmates. Humans are not intended to be controlled. We were granted free will by our Creator. So when someone tries to control us against our will, we rebel. And when you are trying to control someone and they rebel, what do? You levy punishment. You get put in solitary confinement. You get put in the hole. You get put in prison. You get put on probation. In a relationship, how does that show up? You get cursed out. You get choked. You get slapped. You get punched. You get beat. You get shot. You get killed. Because he is trying to control you. And you're trying to be you and do you. So the stuff you're doing naturally offends his insecurity, and you can be talking to a man at the store. And listen, I was this man. This is how I can tell you about this. I know what this behavior is like inside and out because I had to grow from being that man. I understand fully what I'm talking about. You could be talking to a man in the store who works in the store, and this man will jack you up in the store because he feels like your smile when you responded was too big. You can come on this video and leave praying hands, clapping hands, leave a comment. He sees this video on his popular page, on his feed, sees you in the comments, and you get cursed out or jacked up because he feels like you are in lust with me, because that offends his insecurity. See, this control. There are women who have gotten into relationships with men who know me and they are not allowed to follow me online because their man is controlling and their man doesn't want her to hear something that he is doing wrong or not doing. So he controls her and tells her, you cannot follow him. There are men who have told their girlfriend it is Tony Gaskins or me, even though he knows full well that I don't want nothing to do with his woman, that I'm married to a queen, and that I would never in a million years come on to his woman, cheat with his woman, or do anything with his woman, because I am in love, faithful, and committed to my wife. And that my sole goal, mission, and purpose is to help us become better humans so that the world could become a better place. My goal is to win a Nobel Peace Prize for the work on love and relationships that I do in the world. That's the goal. Not literally, that's not award, not going to define me, but I say that I want to do that much work that anybody who come across me and they look at my body of work, they can say everything he did was for the betterment of humans, so that we could have a better existence on this here earth as we're passing through temporarily before we go on to eternity. Listen to me. Control. That's what almost derailed my life, trying to control a human being. I remember I was in a situation before my wife, and I was trying to change a human being. Saying, stop drinking alcohol, stop popping pills, stop smoking weed, stop going to the club. And this individual did not want to let any of that stuff go. And whenever the individual would do that, I would go into a rage. I would lose myself. I would forget myself. I would drive 6-7 hours for a confrontation. I was that toxic, that insecure, that lost. So I know what it'll do. I know what it'll do. I got stories to tell. So the reason why I'm so adamant about this is because I could be in prison today from my insecurity, from my weakness, from my brokenness, from my ignorance. I could be in prison today. So that's why I don't play with it. I don't play with it. I understand the nature of men. I understand. I know men that have lost their life at a youth sporting event. As a man, I have gone to a youth sporting event ready to take a life because I got into it the day before with another father. I understand the volatility of men. We're going to use that word right there. And I'm not clear on the full definition of it, but it sounds good right there. We're going to use that. I understand what men are going through. And as men, we have to address this. We have to address this. And we have to do the work. We got to look at ourselves. And we have to stop making excuses for our brokenness. We have to stop making excuses for our pain. We have to stop making concessions for our brokenness and our pain and our ignorance. I see men who know they are ignorant, who know they are hurting, who know they are broken, who know they are insecure. And instead of doing the painful work, because the pain of discipline, instead of doing the work to change, instead they make excuses for why they are the way they are. Oh, this just men. This just let a man be a man. This just men. Men can't even be men no more. It ain't good enough just to provide. Jeff Bezos, that man can't even cheat on his wife. Bill Gates can't even cheat. All that money they got, they can't even cheat. Instead of realizing that That woman deserves to be treated with love and respect regardless of how wealthy her husband is. Men, we want unjust privilege. We want an unrighteous indignation. We want to be excused for toxic behavior. Listen, I don't wish bad on people. But after seeing some of the podcasts of some of these men out here that I'm seeing, I've started praying a prayer for these men. I've started praying that God will move them out the way, remove them, expose them, whatever needs to be done, so that work that the devil is trying to do to destroy the self-esteem of women, to make women feel inadequate, insecure, and less than a man, that work has to stop. And men, we got to stop calling this holding a woman accountable. And we got to accept the role of a man. I hear men say, oh, well, women say, I want my meal paid for. I want my door open. I want, to be married. I want my bills paid. And then if a man says, oh, well, I want a cooked meal every day. I want sex when I want it. I want this and that. Then the woman say, oh, well, I'm not a robot. Or, oh, I'm not going to be, I don't want to cook every day. And then so men say the role of a man and what we are asked to do as men, instead of taking this on us and saying, hey, as a man, I'm capable of doing all this right here. I'm capable of doing all this right here. And I'm not going to make it to where this woman, to where I'm keeping score. I'm going to love this woman based on how the Creator has instructed me to love her. Because I have to answer to Him. And if she doesn't love me based on the way the Creator has instructed her to love me, she has to answer to Him. That's between her and Him. But my love, I got to answer to Him, to the Creator. So I'm not keeping score. So if I shower her with gifts because I'm able to do that, and if I shower her with love because I'm able to do that, and she doesn't cook and she doesn't clean, I'm not going to stop doing what I'm doing because she's not doing what she should be doing or what she could be doing. If I chose to be with her and to marry her, I have to remember I did it for a reason. She was the same person when I married her. Now, if she has changed, I got to look at what is affecting her. And then I see, oh, I had her up till 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning. Then she got up at 5 with the kids. She slept 3 hours last night. The night before that, she slept 4 hours. The night before that, I was snoring like a trombone. She slept maybe 1 hour straight through. So she is literally a zombie. That's why she doesn't feel like cooking a meal and washing dishes. And my sons have 3 outfits a day. I'm wearing 2 outfits a day. All the laundry is on her. She literally doing gymnasium size laundry loads. All of the washing, all of the drying, all of the folding, all of the putting up. And she one person. But yet she doing drive to school, pick up from school, 2-3 hours of homework and tutoring with the boys. So what really how much am I asking of her? See, as a man, instead of me getting mad and getting in my feelings and then saying, oh, well, I'm a simp if I'm doing for her, doing this, and she not doing this, oh, I'm a simp. Oh, that mean I'm a simp. No, that mean I'm a real man. That I'm going to keep washing her with love. And when her love tank is full, when I've helped heal her heart and I've loved her, guess what? When she reciprocate, anything I need or want or ask, she'll do it. But that don't mean she always gonna feel like doing it. But then when I'm in a crunch, when I'm in a bind, when I really see something, I'm really going through something, I look and I see and I'm like, whoa, she really showed up and showed out. Like she really got me. Like, no, she not a robot around the house. She's not a Roomba, Zumba, just around the house cooking and cleaning all day like a maid or a butler. But when I need her, when I'm sick in my body, like right now, she go around the world, give me all kind of medicine, soup, bringing everything, lining up, got me on a schedule, keeping track of it. Hey, take this right now, take this right now, take this right now. I'm up snoring like a trombone. She up through the night, can't sleep because I'm congested and snoring. And so it wake her up because she wake up at the drop of a pen because she got it in her brain to be able to hear her babies crying in the middle of the night. So how she not going to hear her husband snoring in her ear? So she going off no sleep the whole next day. She got to pop Excedrin because she got a migraine so bad because she only slept 1 or 2 hours. See, instead of me looking at what am I not getting as a man, how is she not serving me as a man, I look at what is she going through? What is she dealing with? What is she sacrificing? What did she give up? Oh, she taking care of my kids when she could be a doctor right now, working 40 to 60 hours a week, touching and changing and saving lives. But she gave that up because we started a family. She could be the CEO of a Fortune 500 company. She could be on a plane, ripping and running around the whole world, around the whole country, doing big business. But she's home with our kid. What did she give up? What is she sacrificing? Or she might be working 40 hours a week or more and cooking and cleaning or what have you with no kids or with kids. What is she giving up? Is this woman really freeloading? Or am I just in my feelings feeling sorry for myself as a man? Like, let me really be real about this thing. Is this thing really not equal and even? As a man, am I being faithful? Am I making love to her mind instead of just trying to wham bam, thank you ma'am, making love to her body? Am I making love to her mind? Am I sitting and talking to her about what she wants to talk about? Not just about what I want to talk about. Am I catering to her? Am I speaking her love language? Do you see what I'm saying? See, as a man, when you become a man, you stop looking at what she isn't and you look at what you aren't. And you work on you and you grow and you change and you love her and you lead in love. What I mean is you love and you let her feel and experience that love. And that challenges her to grow and to heal and to reciprocate. But see, as men, we want to kick our feet up and we want to be worshiped like a king, but we acting like a pomper, like a peasant, like a panhandler. In our mind, in our actions, we want to get king treatment, but we want to treat her like a handmaid, like a concubine. But see, I done tested and I done tried it. When you treat her like a queen, she gonna be and do anything you need and want from her. But when you stealing from her, when you're not giving, but all you doing is taking, then you're going to see a different creation. She going to morph into something else because she got to adapt to your games that you playing. As men, we got to accept 100% responsibility for the world, for our life, for our existence, for our actions, for how we show up in the world. And we have to stop trying to pass the buck. What about the woman? This needs to be for the woman. That's not manhood. You want to be a leader. You want to have dominion over earth. You want to call shots. That takes looking in the mirror and stop making excuses and accept full responsibility and let your environment be a product of you. Shift the atmosphere. Shift the culture with your energy, with your effort, with who you become as a man. And stop begging the world to cater to you and to serve you. Stop waiting on a woman to cater to you and to serve you. And as a man, take it on yourself to exemplify love, to become love, to walk in love, to show her how to love. And watch it change her. Watch it transform her. Watch it heal her. Watch it wash her. And watch what she give you in return. And you can't sit here as a man and look at me in my eyes and tell me that you done did that. You will come on here and cap for the comments and leave out the fact that you was cheating with your work wife, that you were cheating with your Facebook wife, that you were worshiping a woman or chasing a woman that didn't even want you because you were thinking with your little head instead of the head on your shoulders. You will leave out that. And you'll paint her to just be a villain. And you'll discount the thing that you were not doing. See, let's be all the way real about it. Let's be all the way real about who we are as men. Because one thing I know, I done seen women who sold a body for a living become a stand-up, honest, trustworthy, faithful wife when she received love. Love changes. Love washes. Love shapes. Love molds. Love heals. Love helps. Listen to me. A woman is created for love. We holler about submission. You first got to submit to the instructions from your creator as a man before you expect a woman to be there for you and to support you. I can't even use the word submission because we have perverted it. We've made it slavery. We've made it prison instead of honor and respect. We have to submit one to another. And if you are so-called the head, if you so-called the leader, then you lead with gentleness, and your gentleness is your strength. You lead in love. And that right there is what's going to change your life. Listen to me, I'm doing it. And guess what? I could get in my feelings. It's a many days I could get in my feelings. Man, I did this, and she ain't even do that. Man, I just did all this, and she still want this. I just did all this, and she still accept this. Man, I did all this, and she still ain't told me I don't need that. No, don't do that for me. She still accepting. I could get in my feelings. But then I sit and I say, listen. I sit and I say, this ain't going to resonate with everybody. But I sit and I say, Ephesians 5 tells me to love my wife as Christ loves the church. And I sit with that. And then I say to myself, when have I turned down the love of Christ? When have I turned down a blessing? Do you know somebody sent me $4,000 a few days ago as a thank you, as tithe and offering? Did I send that money back, or did I say thank you? That is the love of Christ for me, blessing me for the work that I'm doing. God will touch people to bless me over, above, and beyond. I have blessings on top of blessing, and every day I wake up to more mercy, more grace, and more blessing, and there is not a cap. So then I have to confront myself and ask myself, why are you trying to put a cap and stipulations on your love for your wife if God has not capped his love for you? In the message. God bless you. We'll talk soon.